So we're going to go meet one of my members here in a little while, but had breakfast, feeling good, and got to meet a great guy to give me some information. So there you go. Back soon. See ya. So Phil, nice to meet you. Yeah, first time I've met you. We walked over to the park, but first time I met you, and you contacted me through our member site, which was real cool. And the interesting thing about this for me, Phil, was that you were a member of our member site, but the primary focus has been up until now Thailand. I did go to Cambodia. I haven't been there in a year, 2 years now. Which I had planned to actually go back and didn't because of a few things there that had changed. But yeah, you'd sort of been a member, but you live in Vietnam. How long have you lived here?
About 1 year.
About 1 year.
Yeah, it was last April I came over, and that was my big move. But I was moving not to Vietnam at that time. I was moving to Asia.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where I'd wind up. And I'm not really sure yet.
Neither am I. I've been here 17 years.
Right. I've been to a couple of countries, and when I came here in 2013, just for fun, for fun trips, sort of, that's while I was working. I just liked it right away. I don't know why. I like Saigon, the city. When you go to some places, you have a good feel for it, a bad feel. And,
exactly.
It sort of hit me. I liked it. I've been to several other countries in Asia before. Singapore, which I like, which is way too expensive. Indonesia for a little while. Manila for 2 days.
That was enough.
I'm going to go back to Philippines, but and look at it. But yeah, the traffic was really heavy. But here,
compared to Saigon, the traffic was heavy.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
Because in Philippines and Indonesia, the traffic is dominated by cars.
Yeah.
And cars, there's only so many can fit in a lane.
That's right. And that's what's happening to Thailand now.
Yeah, and that's starting to happen here too. With the TPP, they're going to reduce the tariff. There's like a 100% tariff on cars to buy a car here for Vietnamese. Like 90% duty and 10% tax. But that TPP is going to reduce that in a couple of years.
That's not
good. More
good.
people are going to buy cars, yeah. The traffic, there's a lot of motorbikes, but they flow. Because somebody can fit on the street. And they don't pay any kind of law either, so they just go, and it's actually very efficient.
Yeah, the laws are just suggestions. Same in Thailand, yeah.
Okay. People cut right in front of you, the signal changes, you go right in front. But it's efficient that way, because there's nobody in the intersection at that time, so why don't you just cut in front of them? It kind of works.
Well, why not?
There are accidents. There are a lot of accidents.
It does work. That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah. And so it gets them to work.
I noticed when most countries, Southeast Asian countries, a lot of Latin countries as well, the horn honking sort of serves as either get out of my way or I have the right of way because I honked first.
Or I'm very close to you.
Yeah.
And don't move.
Yeah.
So you do that just before you come up on them. That's very common.
But everybody doing it, it's like, wait till you go to Thailand. You're going to say, why is it so? What is it about this place that's quiet? And it's really the horn honking.
Right. I know.
Now, have you traveled outside of Saigon?
I have. So I went to Vung Tau, and that's sort of the main city in Mekong, and Vung Tau, which is the closest beach to Saigon. And it's really nice. You should go.
How far is that from here?
It's an hour and a half on a bus, and the bus costs $5 or $10. It's very cheap. I think $5.
Is it bus transportation good?
Yeah, I mean, intercity buses are fine. We've used them a lot.
But I mean, to go an hour and a half away.
Yeah, no, it's a nice bus.
Uh-huh.
It's a nice bus, yeah.
Safe?
Is the highway safe? Well, the buses drive fast in the fast lane, and
And the buses drive slow, and the fast and the slow.
Motorbikes. I mean, it's the more deadly part of the country. Is people travel from city to city on motorbikes. So I think I've got a bus though.
You drive around the city with a motorbike. How long did it take you living here before you started to brave that?
About 1 month. And I decided that I really needed to, if I'm going to live here, I need to learn primary method of transportation for everybody, and just do it. And it's not that bad. One thing is in the city, the speeds are slow.
Yeah.
I've never gone over 40 kilometers in the city, and that's fast on the highway. So in the city, it's more like 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour in traffic. And so if you have a wreck, you're going to bump into somebody or something's going to happen.
Have you had a wreck yet?
I bumped a couple people, and a couple people bumped me, like just yesterday.
And do you all stop or just go on your way? Just keep going. Yeah. Interesting. Now this is a big city. I mean, getting just from where I'm staying from the airport took 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And so how long did it take you before you actually could navigate the city? Because you can't look at a map or a GPS while you're going on these roads.
Oh, I've got the iPhone. I use GPS.
But you have to stop and look because you can't take your eye off.
No. You have to you always look ahead. You don't look behind you. You know what? My peripheral vision's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, well, that's the way people in Asia do. Okay. Because you have to use it. It's survival.
Yeah, especially on the motorbike, because things can happen too fast. You can take your eye off the road. So a lot of things can happen. Someone coming this way, someone coming out in front of you. It's just part of riding a motorbike in Asia. You don't have to do it. There are buses in the city.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about that. The public transportation in the city, because in Thailand we have a lot of motorbike taxis where you just jump on the back of a motorbike taxi.
That here too.
You do have it?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it. Do they have any kind of uniform or something?
No, there's no uniform, not like Thailand. You'll see them on street corners, and they're usually like lying on their bike.
Those are legit.
And
they're not just somebody trying to hustle you.
No, I mean, they're all independent. There's no company.
But there's no licensing of that either?
No licensing.
Okay.
They're called Saya Om. And you can just ask the men. Saya Om.
Saya Om.
That's a motorbike.
How long did it take you to learn some of the language?
Okay, so when I first came here, I moved to Bantan, and that's the next district, past District 1. We're in District 1 now. It's over the river. And I went, because there's a school there, language school. And I went to language school for 7 weeks.
How many?
7.
7.
And I've forgotten a lot of it. But I learned some pronunciation, and that helped a lot. Because the pronunciation is not obvious. It looks like English words, but the pronunciation is just different. So it helps me, and I need to get back to it. I will get back to it. I told you I'm moving to Thailand on Thursday.
And that has to do with some kind of schooling?
That's right. My wife is...
it's okay, you can go back.
My wife's been admitted to Mahidol University there for a graduate program for 6 months. And we just got married in January. And so I think it'd be great. She wants to go there and go to school, and it's a great school. Thailand has high caliber schools compared to all of Asia. And I want to live in more countries, so it's fun for me too. Yeah,
well, it's great for you to experience, and your wife to experience the different cultures, and because once she becomes a nurse, if she had an opportunity to work there and you liked it there better, you would have the opportunity to do that because they would hire her. Sure,
she could get the registration now. She's an MD. She actually.
Oh wow, cool. Well, that's really great. Back to that transportation for just a second too. And I would like to further ask you some questions about the language as well, but jumping back to the transportation, I know there's a lot of city buses. How do you tell where they're going? There's white buses, there's green buses,
there's a great internet map I can give you.
Okay, cool.
You look on your screen, it expands very large, and the buses are all numbered. And you have to find the bus stops, and you can find them pretty well.
Okay.
There are a lot of buses. They cost about 5,000 dong, which is 20,000 is $1. Okay, so 5,000 is like.
So that's how you're doing it too, rounding it off like that.
Oh yeah, within 10%.
And I notice people here, because everything's thousands, a lot of people now just drop the 1,000 and say there's like 230, and you know it's 230,000.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Okay, so you got the buses, you can check a map. You got metered taxis. Do they use the meters when you get in?
Yeah.
Thailand, that's an issue, especially around airports in Bangkok.
I've had best luck with Venusun taxi.
Okay.
Also Mylin, some people like that. I had a Mylin taxi one time drive me from the ferry downtown. He took a long road. So, you know, you have one bad experience, say, okay, I'm not going to use it anymore. So, Venusun's pretty good. Just the Mylin was right there, the green taxi.
Okay. And they're the good ones or the bad
they're not
ones?
that expensive. Well, that's number 2 for me. There's the Venusun over there, the white ones.
Oh, the white ones, okay. And
they're pretty expensive. They're pretty expensive. I think you can go for a couple dollars, U.S. dollars, of course. U.S. dollars for one side of District 1 to the other side. So
they like U.S. dollars, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm converting it.
Yeah, but they actually do. A lot of it they'll quote you in U.S. dollars.
Oh, okay.
You know, even restaurants and stuff here. I'm like, well, I don't know how much that is.
Where you're staying, they might quote in dollars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we got the metered taxis, the buses, the motorbike taxis, and then of course you could rent a bike. You know, one really strange thing to me here, which they do when you rent motorbikes in Thailand, a lot of times they want to keep your passport, but here it's a common thing to relinquish your passport to hotels. They want your passport. I know there's something in where they have to report to the police about people that stay in a place. Some people have said, yeah, the first night they can keep the passport, and then following nights just give them a copy or something, because I went to a motorbike place, and the motorbike place said they want the passport or leave $400 US or something for a deposit.
This place down here.
200. And then I said, well, okay, you're going to have to fight with the hotel who gets the passport, you know?
Well, they'll give it back to you during the daytime. I think they just want it at night. You need it.
Yeah, it's very common when, especially in America, they say don't relinquish your passport to anybody, and it's like here, you have to, or you can't stay anywhere.
I know.
Yeah,
then they'll come.
Comes with the territory, right? Yeah, I got some notes. That's why I pulled out my phone there. So you haven't been to Thailand yet?
I did.
Oh, okay.
In November we went for like 6 days.
Okay.
I posted it on your members forum. I went to Hue Hin for 3 days.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't Hue Hin. It was the little town south of there.
Prambury.
Prambury, yeah. And then we were in Bangkok for 2 days, 2 nights.
Which, just from a 6-day trip, how do you compare the two countries? The people and the overall ambiance, cost of things?
Right. Economically, I've also been to Cambodia. Well, Cambodia economically is a step down from
Yes, absolutely.
Vietnam. And Thailand is a step up.
Okay.
It's just obvious. Just to look at the streets.
That's okay. That's all right. It's okay.
Just look at the streets, the number of cars. I don't know. The look at the buildings and that sort of thing. They have some funny habits here with trash. During the day, they'll throw the trash out to the curb, and it's a mess. They don't have any garbage cans, except in the park for a couple. But in the night, the sweepers come through. There's an army of sweepers with us. So in the morning, it's spotless. So they have a different way of doing things.
Yeah, right.
But it looks, it's not as tidy as Thailand.
What about the people? Your interactions with Thai people compared to your interactions with Vietnamese people?
About the same for me.
About the same?
About the same.
How about transactions? Because you're a foreigner, they don't know you've been here 1 year. Everybody that I've ever talked to that has traveled through here, they say that the transactions are usually suspect, and I can understand why, because those zeros at the end, it makes things sort of strange.
Right.
But they say you either get an overcharge or underchange a lot of the time. Here they take advantage of foreigners in that respect. Have you noticed that at all? And did you notice it in Thailand?
Not in either place.
Okay, good.
No, I don't think I've been cheated except by a couple of taxis.
Okay.
I told you the first time I came here in a taxi, and I went out of the international terminal, and the guy came up to me, "Do you need a taxi?" I said, "Okay," and that was a mistake.
Yeah, and that's something we should mention right now while we have the opportunity too. is when you arrive into, say, Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City, and you arrive at an international terminal, your best bet for catching a taxi is to leave the international terminal, head over to the domestic terminal, and then go to, which floor is it?
So what you do, you just walk to the right?
Yeah, you can go to the domestic terminal and then catch
Just on the curb, just on the curb. They've got you'll see the taxis all lined up there. They don't line up at the international terminal. I don't know why.
So just go to the domestic terminal and catch your taxi from there, and you get a better deal. And so, okay, so it was comparable to Thailand and here. How about the cost of things? Were they comparable as well?
Things cost more in Thailand, I think. Well, we were in Bangkok, so we were.
That's a good comparison to here, I think.
Soy, we were pretty far down. I don't remember what the soy number was, 50s or something. But it seemed more expensive, a little more expensive.
Where, in Bangkok?
In Bangkok, yeah.
This is surely more expensive than Chiang Mai here. Maybe comparable to, say, Hue An, but maybe a little bit less expensive than Bangkok so far. But I haven't only been in one area, and I've only been here 24 hours. But that's sort of what I've experienced so far. I'm not sure as I get away from District 1 what's going to happen. But
District 1 is the downtown is the commercial center of the city. And also, there's all the big hotels. There's $100 a night hotels are downtown. This is more of
backpackers kind of.
They call it the backpackers area. It's a lot of international tourists come here because again, once you have stores and hotels catering to international people speaking English, well, it's easier to go there, isn't it? But however, you can go 2 blocks over here to District 3 and get a nice hotel, but it will feel much more like Vietnam. You won't see so many Americans and so many,
I'm going to have to go there.
Yeah.
You can go, it's okay.
But, so, I was living in District 5, which is another section. It's about half an hour to the west. And I have a little nice 2-star hotel there I stay sometimes. That's $15 a night.
Where do you stay normally?
Well, now I'm living at To's family's house.
Oh, okay.
I had an apartment before. I went back to the United States in February for 3 weeks to buy things, to bring things back, to deal with business issues and banking and all that sort of thing. I'll probably do that once a year. And now, so I came back for 2 weeks staying at her family house, which is really different for me.
Sure.
She has her family there too. And then we'll be going to Thailand, so that's just sort of temporary thing.
Okay. And when you had the apartment, what district was it in?
My first apartment was in Bun Tan, so it's about a 15-minute motorbike ride this way. And now I was in District 5. Again, it's close to District 1. But when I lived there, I rarely came up here.
Was it a studio apartment?
Yeah, they're both studios.
How much did that cost per month?
The first one was in a building that was really for expats, so it's about 9 units. And it's really not for Vietnamese people. It's around $450 a month. Just
$450
for the apartment, right? Now the second one I was in, that To helped me find. To is my wife. She helped me find that looking at the Vietnamese advertising. With the apartment, I remember maybe $250, but including air conditioning and all the water and the internet and everything was $303 a month.
$330 a month.
That's a studio about 28 square meters.
And it was centrally located where it was easy to get to everything?
Oh yeah, so it's on the river. It's a nice location.
Oh, cool. Well, that's great. That's good information. Thanks. Yeah. Have you noticed anything? You said it's a step down maybe from Thailand. The infrastructure here, the roads seem fine. The power isn't like last time I was in the Philippines, there was power. Everybody had generators and stuff because they always had these rolling blackouts and stuff, so generators would be kicking on. There was always security guards outside of almost every business. The infrastructure and everything and the safety. Have you noticed any? I mean, this really feels like Bangkok to me. I mean,
it's really different. The Philippines has a lot of crime.
Yes, it does.
And so there are guards outside the buildings, armed guards.
That's right.
For crime.
That's right.
Here, there are a lot of guards, but they're motorbike watching guards.
You tip out those motorbike, or do you actually have a fee that you pay? Because everywhere I've seen you got to charge.
Charge you. The hotel probably won't charge you.
Right.
A good restaurant won't charge you. But most places like stores and things will charge you anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000.
Okay, and you know before you park.
Well, you can ask them. $5,000 is only what.
And then if it was free, do you tip out the guy that's watching?
You know, there's no tipping here.
No tipping, even in restaurants?
No.
Oh, cool.
No. According to Toad, there's no tipping, and
well, according to Thai people in Thailand, there's no tipping either. But
so I just don't tip.
Okay.
The only time I've tipped is if I'm in a place where they might come to expect them, like maybe where you stay here, or in a large hotel, or but it'd be a very small tip.
Okay.
Maybe a taxi, maybe a round up a little bit. So yeah, they wouldn't expect it.
Okay. How about restrictions? It is a communist country.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're in a communist country?
Well, that's a good question. When you say communist, you're talking about the system it's like an economic system, and that I don't notice that part at all, because economically there are just millions of small businesses.
That's what's happened now in China as well. It's a communist country, but it's an entrepreneurial endeavor at this point.
But the other way we think of communism, I think, is like a one-party, authoritative, controlled government, and half the world has those kinds of governments.
I think we got one now in America.
In some ways.
They might call it two things, but it's one.
Might be snooping more, yeah. But, so the people don't have much say. The press is restricted. Journalists, we have those journalistic restrictions. The people don't really miss that because they're not used to that.
Yeah, right.
But it's the corruption that bothers me more than anything. And I think, again, you get that in the poor countries, the developing countries.
And so you've participated in that. We all do in these countries. It's like it's much better than to buck the system. Just it's not that much. Just go ahead and pay and move on, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
I always say fly under the radar when it comes to the government and stuff, anything they have to do with interact with police or something. Sometimes I'll stand up in Thailand, stand up to somebody trying to take advantage of a foreigner because I've lived there, I know the system, and I'll go, no, just say my mention with taxi services and going from a hotel, from an airport. Yes, you're going to use the meter. If they say yes, I get in, they won't turn, I open the door. Say, let me out, get my bag before I get out of the taxi, open the trunk, get my bag out, because I don't want them to fly off with it. I won't let them do it. I just stop them and say, no, I'm not going to participate in this. Or in a market, if the foreigner, they charge me more and I see them charge it, and I understand because I understand the language and everything, I say this, I tell them in Thai, very pleasantly, I don't raise my voice, say, it's not good you do that to a foreigner,
Okay.
Because why do you do that?
Okay.
And so I just want them to know that we understand that you're doing it. I don't want them to lose face, but just it's not so good. It's just so they need to think about it. But anyway, let me get back to my list here. The restrictions, transportation we did, the horn honking you've come to accept.
You mentioned the guards. I want to talk about crime a little bit.
Sure.
So this morning, my wife's niece came down with news that there was a murder in the district past the airport. Two guys tried to steal a motorbike, and there was a fight, and one person, I think, they fell down and got killed. I don't think it was a shooting or anything like that. And that was big news. There's very little violent crime here.
And that was between Vietnamese, no foreigner involved.
Right. But the point is that was news, whereas in San Francisco, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, that's not news. That's not news. There might be 5 murders a day, I don't know.
Yeah.
So there is petty crime. People steal things. It's economic crime. But you just don't hear about the murders, the crazy stuff. I don't think it's.
I think it happens more between business people and business arrangements and stuff.
Right.
Rich people having disagreements than it is about. I always say that these kinds of countries, like where we hang out, The crime is more a crime of opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's because of that disparity of income.
Right,
you know, that they see somebody that has something, you know, like a camera or a watch, and they say that's, you know, 2 years' wage.
Yeah, yeah.
It's tempting for them. I understand, especially if they're in a bad economic situation. Where all of a sudden somebody really is sick in the family or something and they're desperate. Now the desperate people have desperate measures, you know? And so I understand that, and I just try and not be a victim of it, but I do understand it and try not to become, give them the opportunity. Have you sort of said, well, this seems to be like going to be my home? Or do you ever have plans like move back with your wife to the States?
No.
Do you like it better here?
Yeah.
In Asia?
I wanted to live overseas my whole life. I was in Germany for a year and a half. I was drafted. I was in Germany for a year and a half. And I always wanted to live overseas again someplace else. I have a lot of relatives in Australia. And so now I'm closer to them. I went and saw some of them last year. And I'll continue to do that. I have very few relatives in the United States. So my family's, you know, more this side of the hemisphere. And I don't know, I just like it. I love the tropics. I like that it's different.
Now you're from San Francisco area? I mean, were your home based out of before?
Yeah, I spent probably half my life in Northern and Southern California.
Okay, because the reason I brought it up is because of the humidity. You mentioned the tropics. It's okay, you can go, no problem. Thank you.
My favorite place to live when I was a kid, I was a teenager, was in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then you're used to this humidity.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah, because it's very similar to the weather in Florida. So the humidity is something that's not a negative for you.
Yeah, it's nice right now. This is a good time of the year, actually.
Yes, it is.
Since December, it's been pretty nice here.
Yeah. Winters are like winters in Florida. It's warm, not hot, warm. And at nights it cools off a little bit. And
in July, we had very little rain. Yeah.
You ever notice pollution at all?
There's a pollution problem because there's just so many motorbikes. I'll go home at night and I'll go out and there'll be some black stuff.
Same in Chiang Mai. I don't notice it so much.
Or something, I don't know what it is. Is that smog? I don't know what it is. But
and one of the things that
my eyes never burn. It's not that kind of a smog.
And no nasal sinus problems. I did notice in Thailand in the last 15 years, when I first came over to Thailand about 17 years ago, they had two-cycle motorbike engine. They were always spewing that blue smoke, and you'd be at traffic lights just gagging. And they outlawed them, really. They don't sell them anymore. They're not outlawed, but they don't sell them anymore. And that made a big difference in the air quality. And so I noticed here nobody's spewing out those. They're all four-stroke motorbikes here, and so that helps a lot, I think, too.
I'm sure there are industrial areas outside the city that might be small.
Yeah, the old farmers and stuff sell all those little cheap old motors. They just keep patching them together with duct tape and baling wire, and they keep going. But anyway, let's see if there was any more questions before I turn you loose here. I think we covered just about everything. So you agree that all these countries, really, your money goes a lot further and it's easier to live financially, which takes a lot of burden and stress off you, right?
Right. I couldn't really afford to retire in the United States anyway. I have some savings, but I want to keep that for big things.
Yeah.
I just want to live off of Social Security.
How about insurance? Because you're not covered by Medicare over here. Do you have an insurance policy?
I'm paying for Medicare B right now. I don't know why I am.
Yeah.
I guess I started and I'm continuing that. I get my first Social Security check in April.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
So
I think here in Vietnam you actually have to go to the embassy or consulate to pick it up, whereas in Thailand they'll direct deposit it. But I think Vietnam
will be direct deposited in my Charles Schwab account in the United States.
Oh, in the United States, yeah, sure.
Right, and I'll just use it.
That's okay. You can come. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up because we lost one of our cameras here through the battery. Yeah, well, it's really cool to be able to sit and, first of all, meet you as one of our members because it's really important that the membership helps support not only our donation projects, which we do throughout Thailand, but also keeps the infrastructure going and a little bit of travel expense to be able to go show other places because, as you said, you couldn't retire off of what your retirement is without digging into your savings every month to live at home. And I think a lot of people are going to face that, that whole actuary table, the bell curve, we're still going up as far as retirees in that baby boom generation. And my goal is to try and help those people to find places, and I want to get them spread out. There's a lot, all these countries have something for everybody, you know, and one place might be good for somebody and not for another. So.
And it's really not that different. It's not that foreign. Thailand especially.
Yeah, it's not a leap.
It's like California. Bangkok is, you know, it's not that different. And,
I think
and it's different in fun ways, which is good.
Yeah, for me it is too. Yeah. But that's somebody that likes adventure and excitement and stuff. For somebody who wants certainty and everything to stay the same, that might be a challenge for them. But in a year, have you been able to now? Yeah, I know you went to language school a little bit. Are you able to read some of the signage and understand what it is that what kind of business it is?
Some. Right.
And you were in Thailand. Do you find it's easier to do that here because you recognize the letters easier?
Yeah. Well,
not that you understand
I don't
what
read
it's
Sanskrit in Thailand. So
yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah. That was difficult when I was there.
I actually think it'd be easier to learn, maybe not to speak, but to read here and know what it is that they're saying.
Right. Well, both. I will learn more because I think it's really important to get to know the people. And, you want to because the people are nice.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
Are they nicer than Thai people?
You know, they call it land of smiles. I haven't noticed any difference. I'm sorry.
Oh, cool. Okay, good.
People were just like smiling to me in Thailand. It was kind of like here, just like normal people.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to getting outside of the big city and traveling and seeing the other areas and even to the north, which is the old, the original communist part.
I haven't been up there.
Yeah, but I really appreciate you taking the time, Phil, to do this, and it was great to meet you and
great to meet you too.
And share your story. Yeah, Nat does a great job, and to share your experience and your story with everybody. I think it really helps. You may be amazed how many people it touches.
Okay.
You know, to hear your story, because I get not so much here, but in Thailand I get stopped a lot saying, you know, I'm here because I saw and you made it, so I wasn't afraid to do this. And what you just said about Vietnam does the same thing here, and it makes the anxiety of doing it a little less for a lot of people. So thanks so much.
If anyone wants to reach out to me in the member form, go ahead.
Cool, great. Yeah. That's one of our benefits
I won't be here for 6 months, but I'll be back later.
But a lot of people would probably want to hook up with you because most of our membership is in Thailand, and they could hook up and talk to you about the possibility of coming to some place like that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Very cool. Yeah, one of the biggest upsides that I actually never thought when I started the membership site was actually the group, the community that it's created. I mean, people now, there's little groups of all these members in different places, and they help each other. When one comes over, they sort of take them under their wing. It's very cool. I'm really proud of that. Great membership. I couldn't have asked for a better group of people. So, and you're part of that. So thanks again. Take care. And we'll be back to, I think is because it's so long, we'll probably end the video, this segment of the video, with our conversation here with Phil. But lots more videos coming of all over. So remember, when it comes to living not only in Thailand, but Southeast Asia in general, there's always an option. See ya. Take care. Okay, so when you're in Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City, one of the things you're probably going to do as a tourist first time you're here is come to the Thanh Market. And this is a city market, usually where a lot of the tourists come. So you got to be aware when you do this that you're going to be like food for the sharks. Because the competition is fierce, so you got to step in their shoes and to say, well, they got to sell a certain amount of product, and there's only a certain amount of customers, so you're going to get approached by a lot of vendors as you walk through the market. But there's everything from crafts to art to clothing, backpacks, anything you can imagine is in this market. And we'll peruse through just for a little so you get an idea. These are traditional Vietnamese hats. There's some woodwork, some really cool wood carvings and stuff here. Clothing of all sorts, but we'll walk through here and I'll show you what I mean by being food for the sharks. And do me a favor, if you actually come and you're going to start not wanting to even answer these people when they try and grab you and say, hey, I got something for you. But if you're going to say you're going to come back, don't say you're going to come back if you're not, because they get very disillusioned and don't tend to believe you. I actually wanted to come back to talk to somebody and they didn't believe me because I guess everybody says that. So anyway, but these are the kinds of clothing items, purses, backpacks. So we'll just go down a few of these aisles so you can see what we have here. Hello. Some embroideries. Any kind of t-shirt you'd want, you can find here. We'll try and get out of the clothing section here and into a different section. But this is to give you an idea of two things. One is what kind of products that you might encounter here, that you might be looking for. But also is... No, thank you. No, thank you. If you want a Vietnamese hat, but you can't pack it in your luggage, here's an option for you. I'm going to get this for Nat. Here's your hat. You can put this in your luggage. Kapao dai. Oh, I love the wind chimes, the bamboo wood chimes. I love the sound of these. Very cool. I know you probably can't hear them, but I love that. We might have to buy one of these just to take home. I love the sound of the bamboo in the wind. Hello. No shortage of sunglasses here. Electronics for your phone. Watches. Hats. Do they have a hat? Do they have a hat that says there's always an option? I could get a Vietnam hat. Sorry.
Cái này 800 bây giờ cái 700 đó, cái 4 cái 3. Giá gì rồi, trả quá trả.
One thing I have noticed is that more people speak English here than in Thailand. Now, we're in a high tourist area, so that would be expected. But it seems to me, and we'll know more as I get out of this area, if they do in other areas speak more English. This one has ginseng root. We have the root. We have a cobra, a scorpion, medicine whiskey, medicinal purposes.
Can I help you, sir?
I don't think so, but thank you for asking. Uh-oh, coming through the okra man. Now this is more expensive in this kind of market for tourism, but you got all sorts of dried dried fruits, nuts and seeds, herbs, teas, coffees. They even have kapi luwak tea from the squirrel tea. Squirrel coffee. See this squirrel coffee? All kinds of coffee. Go slow. Slow. So I hope this gives you an idea. It's one of the places you might want to peruse through when you're here in Saigon, just to get a feel for what's available and what you can buy. So I hope this has been helpful, and we'll be off to see some more things in just a minute. Before we go, I thought we'd walk through the fresh part of this market, where we have shrimp, vegetables. This guy's over here grinding up some ice. Now, speaking of ice, in Thailand, all the water's filtered that they use to make ice. I'm not sure about here yet, so I just wanted to mention this. I'm going to try and find out if it's okay. But in Thailand, don't worry about drinks that have ice in them. But let's walk through here and see what kind of fresh vegetables and stuff they have. Fresh fish. They're scaling and gutting the fish. Hello. Lots of greens. All sorts of greens and sprouts and stuff. Looks good. Broccoli looks good. Tomatoes look good. Hey, there's a crab. There's a free crab. Somebody's lunch. Are those the same pu mangan samlap samtamai? Yeah, that's the same kind of crab that they pickle up and put in papaya salads. Pho noodles. Fish and eels. There you go, just a little perusing through the fresh side of the market here. And we're off to look at some more things, and I'll report back soon. See ya. Okay, I thought I was finished talking about the market, but I realized they have a whole food section, a restaurant section here in the market. This is a place to go if you're on a budget, especially a Category 1 budget, where you're dealing with between $500 and $750 a month. They have meals from about $120 to $2 here in the market, and that would be about 40 baht, something like that, 70 baht meals for here. So you've got an extensive menu from 30,000 dong to 45,000 dong. And you got all the noodles, the sandwiches, and everything here. So you're good to go. Noodle soup, 50,000. Fried noodles with vegetables, 30,000. So 62,000 or something is going to be 100 baht. So this is like 50 baht, something like that. So you're talking about less than $2 for a meal here, and you got everything. You've got all the traditional Vietnamese, the noodle dishes, the sandwiches, soups. So this is a great option as you go through here and look at all these places where you can sit and eat inexpensively. And of course the Vietnamese people eat here as well, so it's not just for foreigners, but it's extensive. It goes for quite a long way, so you can get your drinks, your coffees, your smoothies. You can even sit and have a beer here, Saigon beer. So this is a great option for somebody that's on a budget, a fixed budget to eat. So keep this in mind if you're thinking about coming here and you want to eat on the cheap, come to the market. Great selection, great prices. Okay, now I've been trying to be real fair. Here, move over this way. I've been trying to be real fair and not prejudge, and I didn't want to say anything to taint my reporting to you all so that you presuppose something before I say it. So I was told before I came here, and I used to have a restaurant in Chiang Mai, and everybody that traveled through Vietnam basically said the same thing, is that the country is beautiful, the value is really great, the food is good. They all had great things to say. They always said that the challenge was the people. And so now I'm not going to generalize and say the whole country's like this, because I've only been in the country for a couple hours, and I am in a place where it's basically tourist oriented, this area of Saigon. So I just want to preface what I'm going to say with that. But here, walking through the market and walking through the neighborhood where we're staying, it appears to me that it's constant first of all, you're being harassed constantly about buying something. But in the markets, anytime I stop to look at a menu or something, people try and grab me and try and get me to purchase something or use their product or service. And as soon as I show that I'm not, that I'm just shopping, they get mad at me. And so in the market here, this is really prevalent. I was looking at a menu that was really great. They had all the things I wanted. It was a great price. And I just reported to you all about the prices in the market where you could eat. So the lady who came said, sit down, sit down. I'm like, full, I just ate. But I think I'm going to, as soon as I said I'm not eating, even though I said I'm going to come back, I like your menu, she got mad at me. So another place I was at, I saw some clothing that I wanted, some long pants that were Columbia brand, real light, they dry fast and everything. I thought, well, this is great. I told her I'm going to come back. She got sort of disappointed, but I did come back because I told her I was going to. When I came back and she showed me the pants, she kept going to bigger sizes, but still I'm tall. And so she still didn't have the size I wanted. So then she said, no, this will be fine, this will be fine. So I looked and the zipper didn't line up with the button. First of all, the buttonhole wasn't even open. And so you could open the buttonhole, that's not a problem. But when the zipper was straight, the buttons didn't line up, and I showed her this, and she got really mad at me. She said, I'm no good, I'm not a nice guy and everything. And it was like, it's just turned on a dime. So the niceness when you're trying to buy something is not genuine. And as soon as they see that you're not interested in buying in the moment, because I would come back to some of these places when they don't show you you're not interested in the moment. They're not just ambivalent. They're actually angry at you for taking their time or effort or something. And so I want to, I don't pull any punches. That's the way I roll. I'm going to tell you the way it is. And this is my impression the first 24 hours that I've been here. That in this area where it's about tourism and money and everything, there's no genuine friendliness. It's only about them getting money from you. As soon as you show that you're not going to buy in the moment, because I wanted to go back to the restaurant. I wanted to buy the clothes and stuff. But when I showed her the button didn't line up, she got angry. When I showed I wasn't going to sit down right then and eat at the restaurant, she got angry. These people get angry at you if you take their time or effort. So I wanted to report that because this is what everybody said about this place. Now, again, we'll see, and I'm going to compare this as we go to other areas of Vietnam. This might just be prevalent here in this big city because it is a big city. It's like any big city in any country. And so the people are a little bit different than in other parts of countries where it's more rural or more not as much tourism. So just wanted to report that to you and be honest with you. I do get this in some places in Thailand as well. And that would be in a major market in Bangkok or the shopping district in Chiang Mai. We have a tourist-oriented Warroad market. And I sort of get that, but not to this degree. I mean, these people really get angry if you're not buying. So be careful taking up somebody's time, even just stopping at a business and looking at a menu or asking how much a motorbike is to rent if you're not renting right then or buying right then or eating right then. Be prepared that they might get angry at you. So there you go. Just thought I'd be honest and let you know. I'm sort of disappointed about that. See ya. Okay, so we're in Saigon and it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, guess what happens? It starts to get cooler. What happens when it starts to get cooler? This happens for all Asian countries. People start to exercise, come out because it's cooler and they don't have to be in the sun. Asian people don't like dark skin because it represents to them workers. If you have white skin in Asia, it represents to have some kind of affluence because you don't have to be out in the sun working as a farmer, getting dark skin. Where in Western cultures, it seems to be the opposite. If you have dark skin, a tan, it represents you have money because you're able to go play golf, you're able to go play tennis, you're able to go boating, go to the beach and stuff because you have free time, you have money. You're not stuck in an office. So anyway, this is what happens when it starts to get cool in the afternoon. You can see people in the park here. I think this is called September 25 Park or something like this. Something major happened on that day in history. So people start coming out into the park. And if you look over here, you can see them playing this game. I've never seen them kicking this around. I've seen hockey sacks and stuff. I've never seen this little thing that they're kicking around here, which is pretty cool. First I thought it was a bottle of water. Oh, The thing really gets propelled. I'm going to ask him if I can see what this thing looks like. Oh, I guess she sells them. Oh. Anita.
Yeah.
This is what they're kicking around, this thing here. What is this called? The name?
Yeah. Name shuttlecock.
Chat Luang.
Name. The shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock. Oh, it's called a shuttlecock.
Yeah, 50 Việt Nam đồng. High quality.
How much?
50 Việt Nam đồng.
50.
Yeah, Việt Nam. High quality.
Yeah, 50. I know 50. Yeah.
Look. Say.
Wow. These people are good. I'm an old man. These young men.
I discount for you 40.
Yeah, discount for me 40.
40
I think it's better I go exercise on the machine over here.
Yeah.
This is better for old people, huh? $2. Oh, the same $2. But I don't think I can do this. I think I'm gonna hurt myself.
You like halal?
This is better the exercise.
I sell you $1.
$1, huh?
$20.
20. Notice it went from 50 to 20. Okay, because you spent so much time with me, I'll go ahead and do that.
You like white or color?
Up to you. Okay, there you go. Thank you. She would have gotten mad if I didn't buy one, so she was nice enough to talk to me and everything, so that's just the way it works. But I think, see, they even come out and use the exercise machines here in the park. Here, why don't I hold the camera and you do this? Okay, I'll hold the camera, you do this, okay? But what it is, here, let me show you what this is that you can see them kicking around. It's actually a feather with this thing on the end here. I don't know why it's got these little guys in here. It doesn't really, oh yeah, it does sort of collapse. Yeah, but when you hit this, I don't know. Anyway, that's what they're kicking around, and they're actually really good at it. We'll go back and look at them, but I just wanted to mention that, you know, people even in the big cities, people in the afternoons, they come out and try and relax, get some exercise. We'll watch them for just a minute. Yep, they're open kick, huh? I don't think so. They have shoes on too. He's got sort of sandals. I got sandals on. I'm not sure if this would work for me. Oh!
Quạt gió.
Hỏi mỏi bay, đi chạy khó lắm.
Anyway, we'll try it, but probably not when we're on camera. We can try it at the beach, right? Okay. Well, there you go. So I'm going to take a stroll in the nice, cool afternoon. Cool compared to the middle of the afternoon where it's hot. Anyway, see you. So what I want to do is I'm making a contrast video. And the contrast video is, and I made this before I left for Vietnam. Now I've been to Philippines, Cambodia, and these places. And I know the horn honking's bad, and I've been told it's bad in Vietnam. I want you to compare that to what we're watching here. There is no traffic light at this intersection. Listen. What don't you hear? You don't hear the horn honking. These cars, now watch, some of them when they'll be coming up to this intersection, the right-of-way, the cars coming with the right-of-way will actually stop and let these people cross. But you don't hear horn honking. In many of these countries, the right of way is the person that honks the horn first. I remember when I was in Philippines one time, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, there was nobody on the road. We were going down a road like this to go back to my hotel in a taxi. And every side street like this, there was not a car to be seen. And they would hit their horn at every intersection because they're just conditioned to do it. The first person that hits the horn has the right of way. There was actually a worn spot. It was worn smooth on the horn in the center of the steering wheel, where where their palm just hit it constantly. Now listen, no horn honking. Now in Chiang Mai you'll hear them honk the horn, yeah, but it's usually a song cow or a tuk-tuk trying to get some foreigners' attention to know that there's a ride available if they need it, you know. But here, very rarely, and when you do hear it, 90% of the time, it'll be a foreigner that's brought their horn honking with them to this country. Not a good idea. Keep your horn honking to yourself. Yeah. Now there's a guy that actually on the motorbike honked the horn to go around the guy. So it's very rare. This is one of the major differences in something that people, noise pollution's an issue. Well, something to think about. But I wanted to make this comparison video because this is a great comparison video I'll hold on to for comparing and editing into a video about Vietnam and their traffic and their driving habits, or any other Southeast Asian country I go to. But hey, watch. Great, huh? I love it. One of the major reasons, a big influence on why I live in Thailand, and I'd have to consider whether I could put up with the horn honking in another country. Let's see.